Hello there, welcome back to my channel. So this is, I forget which day we're on, day 4 I think, or week 4 of Ethony's 31 days of tarot challenge. And this is the top tarot books, and I think she said 5, but I couldn't list just 5, I've actually listed probably a few more. So we'll quickly flip through as fast as I can. Starting with, this is the first book that I purchased to go with my first deck that I purchased. And it needs no introductions, The Deviant Moon Tarot by Valenza. As you see, it's won prizes. It is an amazing tome of a book to go with his deck. And it basically is full of these brilliant pieces of artwork that he's created. It's the creation of the deck, how it came into being, a story about him as a child as well. And there's all these paradoxical images or negative forms of the images, which are cards within the deck. I happen to really love the reverse images here. And it tells us a bit about Patrick himself. Then we have some of his life journey, and then here's some images of the cards. I mean, the book is so well produced. Where he gets his ideas from, he really goes into depth in telling us how the creation of the cards have come about. And then there's, a page about the card. He tells us his ideas of the fool's journey, his ideas of the meanings for his cards. And as with everything that he does, he also shows us some of the other versions of the Fool that he's ever designed. Some have made it into other decks. And also, he does encourage us to create our own meanings for the cards and not just to be stuck to his meanings. So he inspires us to use our own imagination. But the artwork in here is truly fantastic. I just love looking at the images, even if I don't read the text that goes with it all the time, but just to see how he's developed the cards into what we see today from his original sketches, and how he comes to be. So this is the Hermit. So they're really in-depth. There's a real in-depth story here, and for any fan, I think you'd be hard pushed to be disappointed with this book. It just goes through all the way through. There's so much in here, so many great versatile images to even spark your own creative imaginations if you're wanting to use these to journal within your own tarot journals. Some of these little creatures are fantastic, and you'll see things that look a bit like this in the Now Beasts pack for the Trionfi della Luna. It's just so colourful. I mean, this deck actually is fantastically colourful. Not everyone likes the images in these, but it is just, I don't think I can gush enough about how much I love this deck. It's one of my favourites. It's not one that you can always work with for if you're doing readings for other people, because the images are quite specific. Unless, of course, they're not seeing what you're laying down, then, of course, you can use it. But I'm not sure. People tend to be freaked out by the tarot in general, so there are good reasons why perhaps you might not use this in front of somebody. It's not going to help to debunk the general myths and the way that tarot readers are sort of portrayed and seen as the film that I've just watched, actually. Who is it? Dr. Terror's House of Horrors, with the mystical fortune teller and his Tarot de Marseille deck, predicting people's futures. So this probably goes back to all of those myths that are in that film. It's a good film, actually, if you want some tongue-in-cheek, something to pass a day. This is one of my favourite cards in the deck. I just love the colour in this card. Yeah, so that's the book by Valenza to go with the Deviant Moon Tarot. So that's my book 1. I pulled this one as book 2 simply because I have 2 copies of this. I have this on Kindle version, and I also bought the hard copy just so I could make notes because I enjoyed it so much when I first started out. And this just has some really simple, really short descriptions. It has explanations of how to do spreads for yourself, the Celtic cross. It does a little bit about reverse meanings in here. It's just really simple, really basic for beginners. Finding your right decks, debunks a few myths as well. I'm doing my usual thing here. Look, I'm flipping through back to front. So it tells you a bit about the numbers, the modern tarot, evolution of tarot, signs, symbols, divination. But this one is a nice little book by Lisa Chamberlain. She's quite well known for writing some easy read books. But like I say, I popped this one in just because I own it in 2 formats, so I thought it deserved a mention. I think I probably even own version 1 actually on my Kindle. So that's that one. And this was the book that I got about the same time. So the Hidden Symbols Explained by Derek Johnson. And this one is for the Rider-Waite-Smith system. And it tells you about the cards in there. It tells you about the images that might be in the cards. Also, you can just go through and look up images, and it lists various different cards in which you might find them. So, for instance, chains. So if you want to look up chains, these are some of the cards that you might find chains in throughout different decks, not just the standard RWS. So this could be other decks as well that have RWS symbols in, but are different to the Rider-Waite-Smiths as we know. But otherwise you can go to the card itself, and then you can look up all the different aspects of the card and see what they all mean. For instance, there we go, the Lovers has angels in it, symbolises divine messengers, and then you have a bit more in depth about each symbol. You know, there's the apple, the clouds, the heart, mountains, pillar, snake. So for people who like to know a bit more about what's in the cards, this is a really great book. It does each card, so 70. Well, let's get to the last card. Here it comes. 77. Am I missing a page? Oh yeah, of course, 77 because we've got 0. Right, there we go. So that's tarot cards and the hidden symbols explained as, I suppose that's book 3. Book 4, I just wanted to give a shout out to Dawn Michelle from BohoTarot. I've bought this book. I haven't actually got around to working with it yet because I had all big things planned and then life just got really busy and a bit weird all this year. And this is a great way of learning to work with your deck. And this is all about bonding with your deck, bonding with the cards. It's full of journaling techniques rather than teaching you. It's about journaling techniques, setting your intentions, examining the figures. And she does a great, on her channel, there's a great set of videos that you can watch where she shows you how she journals her cards, and with each card in here she gives you some questions. So for the moon, what mysteries may the moon illuminate? So that's a journaling idea for you. What might your dreams and intuition be revealing? And how might the moon help you tap into your subconscious realm as you work with this deck? So this is just another way that you can work with your cards in a journaling method if you like to create journals, or even to create your own script, your own book, your own words. This really does help you to create your own words for your decks as you work through them, so you can create your own guidebook. This is a new one. I haven't actually had a chance to look through this yet. So this is from Ethony Dawn, Your Tarot Court. This is because I want to delve a bit deeper with the court cards. I have a basic understanding of them, but I just want to work with them a bit more and find different ways of working with them. Ethony's been a tarot reader for many, many years and has her own channel as well as her own group. And I have a few of her oracle decks. I have my eye on one of her tarot decks, so I just figured this would be a great way of starting. So if we just, rather than me going back to front. So in here she introduces us to the court cards as she works with them. Okay, so you get an introduction. Is the tarot court dated? Where she questions a bit about, the structure. So we have the structure of the tarot. Is it dated? How do we feel about it? The types, genders, identifiers. That's up to you how you want to work with the identifiers of the cards. I find them to be asexual. I just give the energies of the cards to people rather than a specific card, as in we used to do once upon a time in tarot. Then we have the elemental associations. She shows us how she uses them for timings. She gives us the astrological components to them. So here we have the air signs. Page of Swords can be linked to any of the 3 air astrological signs, Aquarius, Gemini and Libra. We've got the Knight of Swords, specifically here we have Gemini, the Queen of Swords, Libra, King of Swords, Aquarius. So she goes into quite a great bit of depth here. We have predictive timings, as I said, with the tarot court cards, both as in weeks, months, years, and also seasons. So she does both for us here. The hierarchy of the roles and the progression of the court cards, so how you move through from page through to king, and what that means as you develop and become a person. There's also something here that I saw about picking your court card for your roles. So we have different court cards for different roles in life. So we might be a different court card when we're at work to when we're at home. How we interact with our friends, again, may display another different court card. And she gives us different decks with different elements to look at, to talk about as she comes through this book. But as I say, I haven't worked with it in depth yet. I haven't managed to read much about this book, but I am looking forward to it. It's only just arrived. And then she has like little exercises in here for you to do to really get to know your court cards. There's some spreads there, look. So yeah, I'm quite looking forward to this one. There is an INF, I'm using the wrong words. There is a personality type grid that you can use. Each of the court cards fit into the personality type grid, which is also links back to a Carl Jung type exercise, and then you can pick your personality type, or you can do the personality type quiz and then see how you match into the court cards. That's another way of doing it. We have the Radical Tarot from Pitisci. So I've been following this chap for a very long time, and he has inspired a lot of, I suppose, how I work now. But this book, the Radical Tarot, Breaking All the Rules, I just love how he does things. So he gives you loads of keywords in here. He even does like the tarot mapping for you. So here's the basics. If you wanted to, you could photocopy this page, turn it into Big A4 for yourself, and then add to it your own keywords as you work through the book. He gives you possible meanings. He suggests that you do like find your own, but that's what I love about this book. He keeps it really simple, gives you some basic meanings. His humour, it's really dry. I like his humour. It comes out in here. Tells you about working with spreads. He talks about conceptual blending. He gives us lots of his different spreads that he's worked with over the years of being a reader. I can't remember how many years he said he's been doing it for now. Is it 30 or 40? I forget. I'm sure he'll forgive me. Yeah, so this book is a great book. And then he talks about, so this is what I'm talking about. So I'm sorry, but this chapter is full right now. We'll call your name when we have an opening. So that's just some of his humour that comes through. And then he does like other fancy stuff and an introduction to some of his other books. So he does like conversations with the tarot, where he runs a conversation with a card. So we have the Emperor, and then there's like a whole conversation here that might go between the Emperor and somebody else, or you and the Emperor. And that's what I really like about this. I think there may even be a book with all of these in, which I'll probably get one day just so I can read, because that's a nice kind of reading element, as I say, because his humour's great. So there you go. That's right. I just finished the book. Highly recommend getting it. Radical Tarot, Breaking All the Rules by some guy. Just go to Amazon. So I did get this one from Amazon. In fact, this one, the one by Ethony, I did get from Amazon as well. And in fact, I think I got them all from Amazon. Yeah, I did. I got them all from Amazon, including Patrick Valenza's, but I got it from his shop on Amazon direct. This is my last book, The Bare Bones Tarot. This is a new one. Again, I've just got this one alongside my court cards, and this is one that I'm looking forward to getting into. It's his newest book that's out. And in here, he goes through again, you've got like your keywords. He talks about the cards again in here, the meanings, mapping your cards, you know, kind of mapping your words, picking keywords, and then what that means to you so you can expand on your words. So he teaches you about expansion, pulling down all your words back into keywords, however you want to do this. You can do it either way. And he does like a more common version of the cards and what they mean at a glance. But why have I bought this? Because at the back half of the book, in fact, he breaks down spreads. So he does a couple of spreads, classic 3 cards. He talks a lot about the Celtic cross and how it works. So he goes through the positions of the cards, talks about how the position impresses on the other cards around it, really debunks the myths of the Celtic cross, breaks it down into more than a 1 to 10, in fact. And then he even, back here, I believe, he goes through, so one card in each position. So how the ace affects each. Where are we? Am I going the wrong way here? So there we go. The ace is position 5, position 3. Back to front again. There you go. Position 1, position 2. So he goes through doing it that way. Excuse me. Position 4, position 6. Oh, still doing it back to front. 7, 8, 9, 10. And then he does the 2s for the same thing. So he does that for every single card in the deck, so that you can get an idea of how that card changes, how its meaning changes, relevant to the question, relevant to the position, and the cards around it. So I think that's a really good thing that he does in here. That's why I've bought this book, because I want to go through and learn a bit more. Otherwise, I wasn't keen on the Celtic cross before I saw this. So I hope that interests a few of you. If I have the links found, then I'll put them in below. But yeah, let me know what your books are. What have you got for 2021 to study? And is there any here that's kind of piqued your interest? Or do you have these books actually? Am I behind the times? Give me a thumbs up if you like this, just so that the algorithm knows we're here. And don't forget to like and subscribe so that you get to know as I load up on this channel. Forgive me if you can hear my dog. She's just started playing. So I'm going to love and leave you all. Much love and light. Take care. Bye-bye.